Hey, there you are, old stud walker out in the shop. I hope your day is going well. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about making it all work. I got this guy on the I got them all installed in here, and those arms I made yesterday or the day before, I had to replace. They weren't quite long enough. I did a little testing yesterday, and I figured out that they weren't quite long enough. These ones aren't that much longer, but they're just enough, I think. So, of course, you can't see anything. Anyway, they're just a little bit longer, not much. So what I forgot to mention in my previous video is you probably ought to wait to put the wood around the arms until you got it all working. So there's that. Oh, and the other thing I figured out is I probably should wait to put the skin on after you get the mechanism working. Then you can tailor the skin around the mechanism a bit. I don't know, you might want to switch back and forth, but it's probably easier to modify this skin than the mechanism. So I would wait to put that skin on until last. Alright, because I'm kind of looking at mine and I'm thinking, wow, that's a little big. It looks a little wide. I might have to redo that and make it skinnier, because there's not much clearance already. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was propellers. When I was working on the prototype, I had a hard time getting this guy to row the right way. You want him pulling back. You know, he kept going forward. I thought it was something with the gears. I kept switching those around, but that didn't make a difference, any kind of difference. The difference is the propeller. If I look at my propeller blade head on, the left side is going down and the right side is up. You look at this one, and the left side is up and the right side's down. So it'll make him go forward. This propeller would. So basically, if you have any problems getting your rower to row the correct way, it's the propeller. So you need to just do a 180 on that. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can't do a little troubleshooting, because I guarantee it. There's going to be. You're going to have to make a few adjustments. Now, you want to go clockwise. So, yesterday let's get this guy. I put some dowels in his feet and drilled a few holes. He's got a place to stay. I tried to get his feet right up next to this gearbox. You know, you see that. Well, it doesn't look very close, does it? I thought I was getting them next to the gearbox. I might have to adjust that. Anyway. Welcome to my world. Alright. So, I'll start turning it clockwise, and I'm feeling resistance already right here. So I look, this thing is all kicked out, funky. So that's not right. I need to work on that and get it so it's. I look here, and look at the distance between here. That's quite a bit. I look here, and well, there's no clearance. So I think what I'll do is I'll switch these oars and see what that looks like. So let me do that real quick. Yeah, because there's some real binding going on right here. I'm not sure what's going on. I gotta fix this, and I gotta switch oars. It's kind of a good strategy. If it doesn't work one way, try it the other way. Like this gearbox, I'm thinking I'll try and switch it around, and if things aren't working right, that's a good troubleshooting or way to fix things by turning them the opposite way they were, or switching out parts. Or anyway, you got to use your problem-solving skills here. Okay, it's really important that these two oars are aligned in a straight line, because you want equal pressure. Sometimes I'll leave it just a little bit loose in case it wants to get into the perfect spot where it needs to be. You want to allow it to move a little bit when you're at the beginning here. That's not even in there. That's not gonna work. Gotta be in there at least. Look. Watch this arm. It's kind of binding right there. Oh yeah, there's some real binding going on there. One thing I'll say about this gearbox, I don't have the nuts on yet. It's just sitting in there loose, and it's wanting to move around too. So when I'm getting a lot of binding like that, I think it's this side that's binding. I don't think it's the skin. It's going real easy there. Comes here. Now it's binding. And I can see this arm. This arm here is wanting to move in. Just I think that should be like kicked out or something. Well, I'll show you one little trick. If you got to have some slop put the slop right in here. These things don't necessarily have to be perfectly formed around that. Or I found that if you widen these things up. Come on, get started. I can get a little bigger screwdriver in there. I might have to take that arm out. See if I can get this widen up a little bit. Need a bigger screwdriver. Get more leverage. Moved it. Let's see if that did anything. Ooh, it's better. It's still not very good. Let's try to move it a little more. All right, now let's see. Still quite a bit of binding going on. We still have a lot of room on this side and not much room on that side. I'm kind of thinking about switching this gearbox around, going 180 on it. I might get a better angle. It's right in here. It's binding. See, that thing wants to move. See, right in here, it's not too bad. It gets down here and it's wanting to bind up. I'm going to take this arm off so I can widen it up. I'll probably do the same on this one too while I'm at it. We'll just get it nice and sloppy in there. The thing about the worm gear, it slows everything down, so if it's sloppy, not such a big deal if it's moving slowly. Take the screwdriver and go like this. Yeah, that's a lot looser now. You can always come back with the channel locks and tighten it up. Let's see what I got here. And keep looking at your pieces and making sure they're straight. Like this one, I don't think it looks that straight. The end here. I like to use a crescent wrench and to bend it sometimes. good and sloppy. Much better. Still, there's some real binding going on. Sometimes he can be hitting here, which I think he might be. Yeah, he's hitting on his feet there. I mean, yesterday I shaved a bunch down, but I have to shave more down. So that's where he's binding right there. All right, so I'm gonna have to do a little more whittling. I think I'll stop the camera because you need to see me whittling. Okay. Well, I shaved quite a bit off on his knees here, and it's a lot better. Not binding there. Now he's binding up here. He's binding in a little different spot. But you got to keep an eye on everything. You got to look at this gear, make sure it's in the center and not rubbing against anything. And it kind of looks like it's that this gear is off to the right a bit. I probably should try and adjust that. It's not too bad. It's getting there. It's a little bit of racking. This doesn't look straight to me. See that? Well, anyway, his right arm is not straight. That might be a little better. Let's see why it's sticking at this spot right now. It looks like it's pretty loose. I can see that the gearbox is coming up off the floor. Right here. Yeah. There's still some. Sometimes you can move these oars just a little bit. Ooh. Look at that. That's a lot better. Basically what I just did was lined up these oars in a straight line. Sometimes you got to look at it from the side. So you can take these oars and kind of move them just a little bit. Try adjusting them back and forth. See which way works better. Yeah. You can see it's loose. It would be better if it was loose at all times. Now here, I can't tell. It might be from the metal. I think I'm going to take that skin off. Make sure it's not binding on the sheet metal there. You just gotta kind of troubleshoot everything here and try different things. See what that does. Yeah, I better take it all the way off, I guess. Yeah, let's see how he does. Yeah, I was hitting on the skin there. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's not bad there. That'll work in the wind. It could be better, but it's not bad. It's not binding up terribly. Hopefully you'll eventually find a sweet spot there for everything. That's not too bad here. I got these arms good and loose, or these linkages right here are really loose. It's not looking too bad, really. Try to tighten up those linkages just a little bit. We're moving back and forth pretty good. Yeah, we'll see. We can always widen them back out if we need to. Yeah, there's one. Try this one. Yeah, I think I got that one a little bit too. Let's see how it does. A little bit of White is he's still hitting on his knee there a little bit. Right there. Doesn't seem to be biting much. I'm gonna have to take a little more wood off of there. That's not too bad, really. A little bit of binding here. That's not too bad. We could if we had any wind, we could take it outside and try it. I think it would work halfway decent. It's got still a little bit of a stick there. Some of it you can, if it's close, you know, you can get some breaking in. After you broke it in, it might smooth out a little bit. But you want to get it as smooth as possible to start with. You don't want to have to count on it breaking in too much. Not bad. Oh, the other thing is, let's put a little oil on there. See what it does. Sometimes that helps. Brush I use. It doesn't take much oil, just a little bit of oil on there. A little on the gear. Now let's see. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, I think. That'll work. That's not bad. I don't have to fool with it too much. I am going to take some more wood off of here. Possibly, I might move this up a little bit. It wouldn't be hard to stick that on the bandsaw and cut it up just a little bit more. That's not bad. I think I'm ready to put some wood around those arms. I think I'll try my old arms just for the fun of it. Let's do that. And put his arms back on. Let's check his lean out. See how far back he's leaning. Pretty important that he has a good lean. Let's check his lean back. See how far he's leaning back. Yeah, that's not a very good lean. He's leaning forward awful good. I think those arms could be a little bit longer. That gear centered very well. Yeah, those arms could be just a bit longer. Or the throw on these could be longer. I might try making some new oars. First off, I'm going to straighten out these arms a bit. See what that does. just take them on. Put it on the vise here. And see what that does. I don't think that's going to be enough, but you can try it. It's actually standing up pretty high. I probably should have made the legs a little more 9-degree bend there. It looks like about a 45. Make sure that gear is centered over the worm gear, the top gear. I might even make some new legs, I don't know. He's definitely not leaning back far enough for my taste. Not bad. If he was sitting lower, I think it would be better. Maybe if I moved the holes closer, because he's not as close as he could be. I think I'll try that first. I thought I had those. I thought I had them sitting right up next to the thing. I guess I didn't. Let's try it again. Okay. Well, I got him a little bit closer to the gearbox. Excuse me. That's just my burrito talking. Oh, there's the lean now. That's all I needed to do. Check out his lean now. Yeah, that's a serious lean. That's funny. I didn't move it that much. I probably moved it forward just a little bit. Make sure you can see that. I didn't move those holes forward much, just a little bit. That made a world of difference. I probably have a lot easier time of it if I would have taken geometry in school, but I never did, so I don't know anything about geometry. Yeah, it looks like he's hitting a little bit on his knee there. Oh, that's a serious lean. pulling hard. Let's put a couple nuts on the gearbox there and make sure that's not going to be a problem. Start tightening things down a little bit. I got my cutoff wheels from the eBay, I believe. What do I got here? Reinforced cutoff wheel, 1/8 inch, arbor size, 1.25 inch. It says SE on there. SE on there. Anyway, you know, if you buy Dremel's cutoff wheels, you go broke. So I forget how many were in here, but probably at least 100, I think. And they were relatively cheap, if I remember correctly. They seemed to work okay. So anyway, I use this cutoff wheel quite a bit, so it's a good investment there. I don't think I'll put it too tight yet. Alright, see how that does now. I'm wanting to rise up on this side here. Right here. With it. One foot. This foot is wanting to be up higher. Not sure why. Well, he's hitting on his knee there. That might have something to do with it. Right here, this foot is sitting flat. Ooh, there's something funky going on here, right here at this spot. Kind of a hump or something. Sound good? Yeah. These aren't lined up very well. Might have something to do with it. Yeah, it's better. Something funny is going on right here. I forgot to check the length on my arms, make sure they're the same length. I better check that. I did bend them, so. Let's see what we got here. Shorten this one up a little bit. Okay. Well, I shortened up one of these. I forget which one it was. I think it was this one. But I was taking them like this and seeing where the bearings are hitting. And it's a lot closer now. We're touching the wood at just about the same time. It's pretty close. It's better than it was. It was off quite a bit, actually. So let's see if that makes any difference. A mark on this one. So I know which one I've been using on the left and the right. There's left. There's right, maybe. Way off. All right, I was watch this and tighten up the gearbox. And I figured out I don't have anything attached to it, and it's still not spinning freely. That's telling you that your bearings aren't aligned. And they're not aligned because I tightened this down to the thing here. So let's loosen it up and see what happens. Now it's spinning freely. Okay, that was the problem. I tightened this thing down too much, and then the propeller wouldn't spin freely. So could possibly put a shim under this, lift it up, and then I could snug it down a little more. I mean, it just needs to stay there. There's not a lot of stress on it or anything. Alright, now we'll put it all back together and see if it doesn't work a little better. Well, that's the way it works. You do one thing and it messes up something else, and you just gotta keep going until you get it all dialed in where you need it. Alright, now let's see how we're doing. It's better. You can adjust this a little bit. It's a lot better. I'd say that's pretty good, really. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's funny how you just change one little thing. I don't like that this arm is kicked over so far. But it seems to want to be there. That's not perfect, but it's pretty good. That'll definitely spin if there's a little bit of wind. Got a little uphill here. That's not too bad. Well, I think I'm going to call that pretty good. That's not too bad. Sometimes it's just a little micro adjustments that you got to make. Anyway, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Now let's see if we can't get the sheet metal around it. Alright, I get that metal on here. I think it's looking pretty good. Not bad. He's got a pretty good lean on him. I think it's ready for paint. I got it working, can't believe it. I'll have to get some wood around these arms. Do a little bit of this and that. Glue that transom to the other part of the wood here. Not bad. It's touching a little bit here, but by the time I put the nail in there and everything, I think we'll be okay. If I hold it down, it's not touching. So it's just a matter of where I put that nail. It'll give us a little bit of clearance. So yeah, I think it's going to work. All right. Well, if you made it this far, I salute you. It's kind of a long video, but I wanted to give you a flavor of the kind of troubleshooting you'll have to go through to get the thing working. I think it took me a total of 6 hours. I spent a couple hours the day before checking it out and figured out that my arms weren't long enough. And anyway, so it took me 6 hours. If you never, and that's the third time I've done it. So if it's your first time, it's probably going to take you about 12 hours or more. But anyway, it can be done. And I hope this video has been of some use to you. And I'll see you down the trail.